Good morning, all. I hope we're having a fantastic day today. I know personally that distance learning is pretty challenging. It's hard for me, and we're all just trying to make the most of it. Um, but I'm seeing a lot of work from us, so I really hope you all keep up the work. Um, Avoid turning in blank slides, blank sheets. That's a waste of both of our times. Don't just turn it in to turn it in. Turn it in, give quality work, so then I can give you quality feedback. But a lot of us are doing great work, so I really hope you keep it up. Today's assignment, we're going to improve our ability to draw conclusions. We'll complete the attached slide for practice. I have it down here. Might be up here more. I am making this video in the instructional video linked in, so I'm making that right now. Please email me or private message me if you have questions. I know a couple of you did yesterday, so thank you for that. And anyone else, if you have any questions, I'm here. Please reach out. And I hope you have an awesome day, or at least the best day that you can have today. So Tuesday, October 13th, drawing conclusions. So we're building off of yesterday's practice on making a conclusion. I shared the same slide from yesterday just to help remind us what a conclusion is and how do we draw conclusions. It means to make a statement summarizing what we learned from an experiment. It's typically from data, actual numbers, kind of hard evidence. Our conclusions are meant to be shared with other people, so we have to be clear about what we say. All right. So let's dive right into our practice here. Experimental question. So I'm circling back to our plant gizmos. How much light does a bean plant need to be healthy? So remember, plants need sunlight, water, and healthy soil to grow well. I took a snapshot of the setup in Gizmo I did. Remember, how do we know if a plant is healthy? Well, the mass is more important in judging the health of a bean plant because more mass equals thicker stems. The part that of the plant that goes from the ground kind of up, and then the leaves sprout out from it on either side. Thicker stems, bigger leaves. Leaves are very important because the leaves catch the sunlight and make more food for the plant. So this is my setup. Each plant has 70 milliliters of water. We're using bean plants in all of them, and our soil has compost and fertilizer because we learned that compost and fertilizer really help the plant grow and help make the soil healthy. And so I just did that again for this slide. The experiment setup is seed, bean, soil, compost, and fertilizer, and we're getting 70 milliliters of water a day. The difference now is pot A has 3 lights, pot B has 2 lights, and pot C has 1 light. Since that's our experimental question, that's what we're testing. All right. So type in your prediction below. So I kind of had to write it off to the side just for space. But in your prediction, will pot A, pot B, or pot C have the healthiest bean plant? Okay. And if you need to, you can go back and review at slide 3 for our setup. But in your prediction here, I should see you typing, or not see you typing, but I should see your prediction. So it would be like, I think that pot, and then you'd pick A, B, C will be the healthiest plant, or bean plant, because, and then you explain why. Since our experiment is about sunlight, it should probably be about the amount of light that the bean plant is getting. Okay, so I'm going to delete this, make it type our answer here, type our prediction, not answer. And so I should see your prediction for our experiment there. So make your prediction, pause the video. I don't want you going too far. So type your prediction here, pause the video. You can continue playing after you've made your prediction. Okay, so at this time, hopefully you've made your prediction. I should see it typed in that space here. Now let's look at the data. You can do this experiment if you want in EL Gizmos. You can do it yourself. I just did it for us because I know some of us were having issues with EL Gizmos. But if you want to do the experiment, you can set it up your way, or not set it up. You can set it up on your computer, but make sure that if you decide to run the experiment, make sure that you're setting it up how we have it set up on slide 3. You do not have to go into Gizmo and do it yourself. I am sharing what I saw with you. Okay, so we've made our prediction. Our experiment runs for 50 days. Here are our visual results. Take a look at plant A, plant B, plant C. All right, so we can kind of see already which plant might be the healthiest. But sometimes our eyes can be deceiving. Let's look at the numbers. Let's look at our data. Okay? Here are our observations in a data table for height and mass. Height is on the left side here. I'm actually just thinking about this right now. Let's make a line. Kind of divide. So then we just have, so then we just know that they're different graphs. Okay. The height of each plant. Pot A is 51 centimeters. Pot B is 63 centimeters. Pot C is 52.6 centimeters. 51 centimeters is about a foot and 2/3, so like 20 inches tall. Pot B is a little over 2 feet tall, so it's about 24, probably closer to 25 inches tall. And then 52.6 is pretty close to pot A. It's about 20, maybe 21 inches tall. The mass on day 50, pot A has a mass of 8.5 grams, and it just looks much, much more massive, more heavy than pot B or C. Pot B is 5.6 grams, pot C is 2.5 grams. Okay, so we have very different masses for our plants, but the heights are somewhat similar, pot B being the tallest plant. So, steps to drawing a conclusion. State the facts. Which plant was the healthiest? Why? What does the data say? Okay, so when we share that in our data, review slides 6 and 7, those are just our facts, but which plant was the healthiest? Well, if we circle back to what makes this bean plant healthy, mass is more important in judging the health of a bean plant. Okay, so which bean plant had the most mass? Review your data on slides 6 and 7 to help you make that decision. So in your conclusion, we should see example, the plant in pot blank. So is it A, B, or C? Was the healthiest because it, had the most mass. The leaves were bigger and the stem was thicker. That's kind of our reason why. Why did it have more mass? Well, we saw that maybe the stem was thicker and the leaves were bigger. That might be our reason. Okay, and so was your conclusion correct? My conclusion, or not my conclusion, excuse me. What did we learn, or was your prediction correct? So you would learn if your prediction was wrong, but if your prediction was correct, you would just restate my prediction was accurate. Bean plants need 1, 2, or 3 lights to grow healthy. Okay. And so you would type in your conclusion. Your conclusion would probably be about 2, maybe 3 sentences. One sentence for each, kind of stating the facts. That might be 2 sentences. So this might be 2 sentences. This would probably only be 1. So your conclusion is 2, maybe 3 sentences long. As long as you are stating the facts and using data to support you, as well as just kind of reviewing what did you learn or was your prediction correct. You're doing those things, you're A-okay. That'll be the end. Okay? Make sure you type in your prediction on slide 5, review our data, draw your conclusion on slide 8, submit this assignment when you're finished. Please have them due by tomorrow morning 9 a.m. Turn them in earlier if possible. Check for any missing work on Student View. I'll be working on some hopefully today and have some more updates. Otherwise, enjoy your day. Have an awesome one.